An election where the two frontrunners are Labour leaders? And where is Andrew Fisher? Looks like this election's going to need some explaining. It's another one of those elections. Well, let's start from the last election. In 1914, Andrew Fisher defeated the short-lived Commonwealth Liberal government under Joseph Cook to become Prime Minister for a third time. The time Fisher came into office, Australia was in the middle of World War I and was sending troops to Europe to partake on the multiple fronts for the British Empire. Most notably of these fronts was the Dardanelles campaign, an operation to capture the Ottoman capital of Constantinople, crippling the Islamic power and taking them out of the war. As most Australian and New Zealand viewers know, this campaign went very poorly. In October 1915, Fisher received a report of just how bad things were going from Australian journalist Keith Murdoch, who is the father of Fox News chairman Rupert Murdoch. This news was the final straw in a taxing job for our 6th Prime Minister, and he would resign on October the 27th after being absent from Parliament for 3 days straight. Fisher's replacement would come in the form of New South Welshman William Morris Hughes, or Billy Hughes. He would be the last Prime Minister to have originally been elected in the original 1901 election. Hughes would continue to lead the nation through the First World War. Shortly after coming to power, the Dardanelles campaign would come to an end with a humiliating defeat for the Allies, with thousands of casualties. These casualties caused a shortage of men in the Australian Imperial Force, or AIF. To compensate the lack of men, the AIF convinced Hughes to change the Conscription Act of 1910, which currently only allowed conscription for home defence. The changes made would allow it so conscription could be used in overseas actions, thus bolstering the AIF's numbers with new conscripts. However, Hughes' decision to change the Act caused major disagreement within the Labour Party. Two-thirds of his party were vehemently opposed to the idea of reforming the conscription laws. A big reason for this was the presence of a large number of Irish Catholics in the Labour ranks, who were deeply disturbed by the British Empire's response to the Easter Rising back in Ireland, and were in no mood to assist the British with any more troops. This disagreement led to the eventual expulsion of Hughes and 24 other members from the Labour Party, giving the role of leader to Frank Tudor, the Labour Party organiser. However, Tudor would not become Prime Minister, as Hughes would immediately form his own party with the other 24 expelled members, the National Labour Party, and would form government with help from the Commonwealth Liberal Party, still led by Joseph Cook after the 1914 election loss. This new coalition would immediately bring about a referendum on the conscription issue to see if the public approved. The result would be very close. 1,087,557 voting yes, and 1,160,033 voting no, a difference of just over 72,000 votes. Suffice to say, Australia was divided, both in government and in the public, showing that even though the war was happening on the other side of the world, Australia was being affected in a major way. To attempt to bring unity to the populace, the Governor-General, Sir Ronald Munro Ferguson, encouraged Hughes and Cook to form a singular party. Hughes would emerge leader of this new party called the Nationalist Party, not to be confused with the Nationalist Party, who I will cover in a later video, and Cook would find himself as deputy leader, despite the majority of the Nationalists consisting of former Commonwealth Liberal members. So it was Labour versus the Nationalists for an election on the 5th of May, and the campaign was going to be brutal, with the majority of the Labour Party still seeing Hughes as a traitor who continued to push the conscription issue despite its defeat, even going as far as to promise another referendum in the event that his party won. And the winner was Hughes and the Nationalists, and it was a landslide. The first in Australian history, I might add. With a whopping 53 seats and 54.22% of the popular vote, Hughes' victory was largely due to the presence of Labour and Liberal members in the same party, making the Nationalists appear to both upper and working class Australians. Tudor and the Labour Party was reduced to a mere 22 seats, marking the start of a very dark time for them. When Hughes left the party, he took with him Labour's most talented politicians, leaving the party as a skeleton of their former self. For the next 55 years, Labour would only be in power for 9 of them. Come back next time for the election of 1919.